So, welcome to the show. I'm excited to get into it this week because we just had one of the greatest wins I think we've seen in Seahawks history in a while. It's up there for sure. This comeback that we saw Sunday night on primetime against the Vikings was epic. I don't know how many times we snatched victory from the jaws of death when it looked like imminent defeat was right there, looming at us, staring us in the face. But we're going to get into all that today just to talk about that win, talk about where the Seahawks are right now, and then kind of moving forward as we're entering the bye week. No game this weekend, so we can kind of heal up and talk about how does this team really look and what does the team need to do to really move forward as we get into one of the toughest parts of our schedule moving forward here. So before we get into that, and before we get into the panel, let me just quickly remind everybody that I would love it if you guys would please hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment, share, all that kind of stuff would be greatly, greatly appreciated. So without further ado, let's bring the roundtable. As you can see, the table is less round today. We're missing a couple of our members. Seahawks Martin not joining us, and Brian Abker not here today since he's getting set to move into his new place on the water in Kirkland, so happy for him. But we do have, of course, our regulars, Calvin Domingo, Steve Z.A. Smith up at the top. Always good to have you here, man.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having us on. Absolutely.
And then below him, we've got, of course, Noah Boelter, DJ Squabo, looking mighty dapper, I must say, man. What's with the new look with the tie and everything? I feel it's terribly underdressed today, man. You're looking good, though. You're looking sharp.
Man, it's nothing, man. I'm just trying to look sharp like you, man. I can't. I have to make up for the loss elsewhere by dressing nicely.
Right.
Just to look so attractive. Hopefully, one day.
All right. Well, you look great. You look great. And I'm just glad to have your guys' your voices, your thoughts, because I really want to hear your thoughts on this game. We have not talked at all since this big Vikings win, and I know we all have opinions. Obviously, we're all happy that we won. We're happy that we're 5-0. But put that aside, we got to break a few things down and just talk about moments of this game because it could have gone so many different ways. But before we jump into it, I do want to remind everybody, we are going to take a few calls since we are not... we're not in our full roundtable. We got a little bit extra, hopefully a little extra time, plus time later for the trivia. So you guys can call in and get your opinion. We'd love to get a couple of opinions from you guys. So the number's on the screen, 515-606-5121, and then enter the PIN number 696-153 as you see on the screen. And we'll try to get to a few of you when we have an opportunity to do so. So, yeah, let's get into it. Man. Calvin, let's start with you. Let's just start with some overall just observations of this game. Probably not what we all anticipated. The ending was good, but man, what was just overall thought of what you just watching this game unfold? This roller coaster ride.
I mean, typical Seattle Seahawks football. I mean, obviously this season we're not used to that because we're letting Russ cook and we're jumping out to all these big leads and we're 5-0 for the first time in the franchise's history. But this brings me back to last season. I mean, we had so many games where, you know, the game was decided on the final possession or on the final drive. And so I wasn't surprised at all. I was more surprised about our struggles because, I mean, Minnesota, if there's another defense in the NFL that's been struggling just as much as ours, it's been Minnesota's. They're so depleted. They don't have Danielle Hunter. They lost 3 starters in the offseason in the secondary. Everything just been terrible about that defense. And so for us to struggle in the first half, we had under 100 total yards. There was that final drive where I think there was 2 or 3 sacks in a row. We made that defense look formidable. They don't even have Anthony Barr, one of the game's better linebackers in football. And so I'm just glad that we got it together at the end. We were able to score, I think it was 3 consecutive touchdowns in the third quarter in the span of 2 minutes after being down 13-0 for the majority of the game. Credit to KJ Wright for that one-handed interception. My goodness. I mean, he's out here having a career season. Credit to Chris Carson on that one, I think it was a 29-yard touchdown where he bullied his way into the end zone, bringing Harrison Smith with him. You love to see that. Will Dissly finally scoring a touchdown, I think his first of the season, if not his second. I just like how we rallied. Russell Wilson now has the most game-winning drives in the NFL with 30 since he came into the league. That was back in 2012. This is nothing new, just another typical Seattle Seahawks victory, and now we're 5-0 for the first time in franchise history. So I think this bye week, it's definitely a great time to have it. We're dealing with so many injuries. So yeah, we could really use it. I'm really excited about the state of this team moving forward.
Yeah, you recapped it really well. It was funny. We were talking last week about KJ Wright, how many times he got two hands on the ball and he couldn't haul in, interception, and then he puts one hand on it and snags it and gets one. I guess he should just do more one-handed catches because he's really good at that. So Noah, let's get your take, your overarching view of this game, what you thought of the team.
My buddy Sammy used to tell me, perspective is power. And I really like that quote because heading into this game, everyone looked at Minnesota. They barely got their first win against Houston on the season. They've been devastatingly disappointing. People like Calvin have them winning that division this year, and they've just been horribly disappointing compared to what their expectations were. Whereas Seattle, some people had us being really a good team this year, but not a lot of people had us going 5-0 for our best start in franchise history. So heading into this game, we're coming in off the best start in our franchise history, just about, with an opportunity, if we win this game, versus a team that's been devastatingly disappointing, that we play pretty much every year, sometimes twice in a year, that's practically a divisional opponent. So it was a trap game for us. It really was. And we were supposed to lose this game. We got outplayed for the vast majority of this game. It took 2 fourth-down conversions in the fourth quarter by Russell Wilson to DK Metcalf in order to keep us alive in this game after getting a stop on 4th and inches. That also would have ended the game. So this was the worst-case scenario way for Seattle to get the victory, and we still got the victory. So that is a great thing for Seattle in a game where we were drastically outplayed. We'll talk about DK Metcalf in a little bit, but what he showed us is that clutch gene like no other. He got 2 game-winning touchdown passes. I thought the first one should have counted on 2nd down, and then that turns into a fumble. He gets it knocked out. The final play, I posted my reaction on social media to that final touchdown grab, and my celebration was delayed. I didn't know if he got it, and he did. And it was just an incredible play. Shows how clutch he is, shows the belief. Russell Wilson talks smack on the final drive, and you love to see it from a guy like Russell. Goes down the final drive talking about they know what's coming, they know what's going to happen, and then converting on that drive. That shows what Seattle is made of. It shows what Seattle is about. We might have a chance to touch on it later, but I say Seattle is all in for winning a Super Bowl this year. That's why we traded 2 future first-round picks for Jamal Adams and our starting safety, because we're in it to win it right now, and we're doing it to the fullest degree at 5-0.
All right, man. I love that. I love that we're Super Bowl bound. I love that positive optimism. We'll get into that in a second, and when we start breaking down kind of what all the details that have been going on with this team defensively and all those other things. But my overall view on this game was, it was the strangest mix of. There was games within games. That first half completely owned by the Vikings. I mean, we're lucky we weren't down 20-0 in that game, right? 13-0. We were pretty fortunate, only 2 scores. And then we come out third quarter, kind of back and forth. And then, like you said, the 3 touchdown offensive explosion in, I think it was less than 2 minutes. I mean, it was insane how many points we got. And all of a sudden we're in the lead, and then you're thinking it's going to be a blowout. And then here come the Vikings right back again. And then Seattle's got to come back. And then Russ throws that terrible interception, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is not going to work. But then you start feeling like, well, remember, this happened in a very familiar comeback game against the Packers in the NFC Championship game in 2014, where he threw a ton of bad interceptions, one at about the same point in time of the game, about that 5-minute mark. And so if you've learned anything from the past, it's never over till it's over with this team. And man, when they started going down the field, because remember we kicked to the Vikings 2-yard line, and they went all the way down the field, all the way down to our, 6 or 4? And man, we're going to talk about this particular play, but when they said they were going to, all they had to do was get a first down, they'd win the game, and they decided to line up as, I think, to be honest with you, I thought 90% they were going to get that. I really didn't think we were going to get the stop. But then again, I thought we wouldn't stop Cam Newton getting to the 1-yard line either against the Patriots. So that's how razor thin close we're talking about, inches in these games. And once they did, all of a sudden you knew, like Russ said, oh, they know what's coming. He just needed that one chance to do it. And then he took care of the rest. Again, we had to hold our breath on multiple occasions on that drive to finally lead to the final score. But man, what a thing of beauty. And it's been fun just rewatching highlights and getting all the different, and listening to the different analysts talk about that and how great that was, because that was probably one of the greatest. I don't know where it ranks in terms of Russell Wilson come from behind wins, but it's doesn't get much better when you look at the odds, the time, the distance, and then the just how close to not winning it came down to. And so this is one of the best ones for sure. But
drive of the year.
What's that?
No, it's absolutely drive of the year, and it's going to be really important to Russell Wilson's MVP case.
For sure. And it looked like a lot of people were already chatting it up that, oh, there goes the MVP, the usual, give up on the team when we're only 2 quarters in. But it was great to see him rise to the occasion and take it. And, it really hits me, the Kirk Cousins, man. He is just... Kirk Cousins, you could almost say single-handedly lost that game for them, because if he doesn't throw one pick, if he doesn't fumble the ball or have one of those those weird fumble hit ball come pushed out of his thing, his arm type plays, if he doesn't do that twice in that game, they win that game. So, it's amazing that Kirk Cousins his luck continues, and I'm sure Vikings fans are just going crazy. So it's great. We're 5-0. We're going to talk moving forward, but I do want to go down now that we've been talking about that fourth down play. Been a lot of debate, and like I said, I thought that was the right call. And I want to get your guys' take. If you guys were the offensive coordinator or the coach, would you have called that play? Would you have gone for it on 4th and inches to win the game? Or do you do the play it safe, kick the field goal, and ensure that the worst case scenario would be just overtime? Calvin, let's start with you. I want to test your offensive coordinator hat. Be honest what you were thinking at that moment. What was the right call?
You got to go with the points. I mean, this team is 1-4 on the season. You can't afford to take chances like that. Not against Russell Wilson, not against the best quarterback in football, not against the MVP of the NFL. There's just no way you give him a chance. I mean, I understand it's 4th and inches and your running game has been working all game long, but it goes back to your record. They're 1-3 now, 1-4 on the season. I don't know if they have any chance at the playoffs, but I mean, they're in position to win this game against an undefeated team. You're in Seattle. Kirk Cousins hasn't been playing well at all. The running game has been magnificent, but I mean, the team has been terrible all year long. I think that if the opportunity presents itself, if you have 3 easy points right there, you take it and you take the lead, and you expect Russell Wilson to drive the Seahawks down to get a touchdown, but even then, he still has to convert on a 2-point conversion. And after which they didn't do
when they tried for it.
Exactly, which we didn't do. And so imagine if they had just gone kicked the field goal, gotten the points, they would have won. And so I don't know. I would have taken the points. Now, if they were, let's say, the Green Bay Packers, for example, and they decided to go for it, I mean, I'd be a lot better I'd be a lot more comfortable with the Packers, a team like the Packers going for it. But a team like the Vikings, who are very desperate, I wouldn't have done that. Mm-mm.
At the time, how confident? I'm going to ask both of you guys, Calvin first, then Noah. How confident were you that the Seattle were going to get the stop? Because like I said, I was probably 90% thinking Vikings were going to get it. They were running 200 yards, over 200 yards rushing the whole game. They ran up and down that field. Come on, Calvin, how sure were you that we were going to get the stop? Which means you assumed that it was the wrong call if you believed they wouldn't get it. So how much did you believe they were not going to get that first down, that Seattle would make the stop?
I had a little bit of faith, but not too much, just because we didn't have Jamal. We're missing so many playmakers. I think if we were fully healthy, I would have been 100% confident, yeah, we're getting that stop. But right before the play unfolded, I was just like, oh, no, it's coming down to the wire, and now it's up to the defense. And I'm glad we got the stop. I'm surprised, but I would have felt a lot better if Jamal Adams and the rest of those guys were out there. But I'm not going to lie, it was probably I'd say I would have given us probably a 30% chance of getting that stop, and then a 70% chance where I was just like, oh, no.
Right. Okay. So, Noah, how about you? First of all, give me how you felt that we were going to get the stop, and then as the offensive coordinator or the coach, if you felt that was the right call or not.
Percent that we were going to get the stop. I got to be honest with you guys. Whenever it's a situation where it's make the play or the game's over, I'm 100% confident in my Seahawks. Every single time it's 4th down, 4th and goal, because I know if the play doesn't happen, I just have to let go, just forget the game. It didn't happen. Just focus on a different aspect. We can go play video games, like homework, something else for the week. But I'm always 100% confident because I believe that Seattle's going to find a way to get it done. Even though they had been driving on us the entire game, I looked at this play like, okay, you're taking a risk here, Zimmer. Like, you better hope that you have a good play drawn up, and it could be the right play call, because you wanted me to talk about if I would have done it. Heck no, I'm not doing that, especially in the pouring rain in a game where Seattle has struggled, not only throughout the game at different points, but just before that drive, Seattle had struggled. We threw the interception. We hadn't been able to drive down the field offensively. We gave up the lead because we didn't keep cooking offensively. And so heading into that drive, I'm making them go down, and it's one of those things where it's a probability thing, right? Like, if you flip a coin twice, it's unlikely that it's going to be the same outcome twice. Well, even if they get a touchdown, they have less than a 50% chance, because that's what the percentage of 2-point conversions are offensively, to get the 2-point conversion. So the odds of them getting down there times the odds of them getting the 2-point conversion, the math just tells you that you should take the points there. In Madden, and this is how I know I would have taken the points, because in Madden I would have taken the points, and I always do that in Madden. I kick the field goal, do not let it come down to some crazy circumstance. That's the problem that they made. I'm not saying 100% that it was the wrong call, because for my style of play, I take the points there. For Calvin's style, he takes the points. For Zimmer's style, they're going for it. I respect it, but you got to make a play, and they didn't. So for Seattle, we worked it out. I believe in them 100% because Seattle were undefeated, and I like to believe in the best.
So if it were the other way around and Seattle were in that same exact position, you'd still say they should just kick the field goal. You wouldn't just give the ball to Chris Carson or run some other play.
Points.
Take the points. No matter what, take the points.
It's different, and I'm closer to going for it because it's Seattle's offense instead of Minnesota's. But regardless, I'm saying take the points, because I don't think Kirk Cousins goes down and scores 8 points.
That's a good point. That's true. That's true. He's not going to be the game-winning drive guy. That just doesn't happen with Kirk Cousins. All right, so let's. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Oh, we want to talk about DK Metcalf. So much has been made about the bond between Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf, and he talked about that, going down to Mexico and playing catch with him in 102-degree weather, and just having this big brother, little brother bond. And clearly he was favoring him the whole time, because out of the 9 passes he threw on that game-winning drive, 6 of them were intended to DK Metcalf. So clearly he knew he wanted to get the ball into his playmaker's hands. He made a comment saying that he would love to see Metcalf become like the Jerry Rice to Joe Montana. That's a big step. That's a big claim to make, obviously, this early in his career. But from what we've seen already, I don't think DK Metcalf has done anything less, other than that little thing he did against the Dallas game, which luckily we avoided that affecting the outcome of the game. Other than that little lesson, he's been pretty much what we expected for him to be in this jump. So now there's talk about, is DK Metcalf a top 5 wide receiver? And now this whole talk about the Jerry Rice comparison. Calvin, you brought this up in our pregame discussion. Give me your take on what you think about DK Metcalf. Has he arrived, and is he going to be that future superstar that I think we're just seeing unfolding in the making before our very eyes?
So I don't want to get this twisted. I'm not saying he's a top 5 wide receiver. Like, when everyone's healthy, I don't think he is. But this season alone, because of everything that's going on with the rest of the wide receivers, because of the year that he's having, this season alone, he's already a top 5 wide receiver. And I say that because not only is he second amongst all wide receivers in receiving touchdowns, he's second in yards. He's doing all this despite still having all these flaws. He's still, when it comes to his hands, he still doesn't have the best hands. His ball security could still get a lot better. I think aside from that, I mean, he's almost complete as a wide receiver. I don't think there's too many other things he struggles with. And he's only in his second year. I think he already is a superstar. I think you compare some of these other superstar wide receivers in their second years, I don't think any of them is having the same impact that DK has had. I'm talking about Julio. I'm talking about Calvin Johnson. I'm talking about Michael Thomas, Larry Fitzgerald. All these guys, they were all good in their first and second years, but I don't think they were as good as DK. And I think it definitely helps to have Russell Wilson. Obviously, we've been counting him as the MVP. We've been counting him as the best quarterback in football, and obviously that helps. But I think that he's been putting in the work himself. I mean, I got both these guys on social media, and all summer long, I would see these guys practicing by themselves over and over and over again. Twitter, Instagram, Snap, Facebook. These guys were continuously and constantly working. And so I'm honestly not surprised, but I think that you look at the season that Michael Thomas is having, he's only played one game. Julio Jones has been struggling with injuries all season long. DeAndre Hopkins is doing his thing. Tyreek Hill is doing his thing. But I think that this season, Julio is now in the top 5. Michael Thomas is in the top 5. And I think that DK definitely has a spot in the top 5 this season. He's making plays. He's winning games for us. He's making catches when it counts. There's nothing else to say, really. He's top 5 this season, without a doubt.
Hey, how about you, Noah? What's your thought? Top 5? Has he arrived already? 5 games into this season? Has he proved enough?
Well, in terms of, like, with all the other guys unhealthy, obviously this season, I'll make the case he's top 2. It's Nuke and it's him. And I say Julio, Mike Thomas, Devontae Adams, they're all taking a step back for right now because they haven't been playing and they haven't been as explosive and they haven't been as great as DK Metcalf has this year. I liken DK Metcalf, and I'll just make the comparison. Like, it's like when me and Calvin play basketball. That's DK Metcalf to defending defensive backs. Essentially, Calvin has a jump shot. I'm not going to downplay Calvin. Calvin plays physical. Calvin plays big, a lot bigger than he is. But when it's me versus Calvin in terms of our sizes, if I impose my will, there's nothing that he can do defensively. And that's what DK Metcalf is to defensive backs in the NFL. He's so big. He's so physical. He's so talented. On that last drive of that Minnesota game, DK Metcalf in his post conference said, and I can relate to this, the flag football season for Wazoo got canceled this year. I was doing flag football for the school. And one thing that I was doing as a wide receiver at times, I remember, like, every single play, like, the quarterback would say, I'm going to throw you the ball, and some plays I would drop it, some plays I'd go make a play. And it's just new to me getting used to that. No matter what is said before the play, no matter how they line up, at the time of the play, you got to go get the football. And that's what it comes down to. So every opportunity that DK Metcalf had on that last drive, he had to go out there and make a play. What he said in the press conference was that he was trying to make a play every single time. He wanted to be unstoppable on that drive, and he was. On the 7th day, God rested. On the 8th day, he created Russell Wilson to DK Metcalf, and he blessed the world with it. Thankfully, we are here to witness this beautiful connection of this unstoppable wide receiver with the best quarterback in the NFL. This matchup could stay for a very long time. I'd recommend ordering your DK Metcalf jerseys as of last year because this is here to stay. Remember when Jimmy Graham got here, everyone was like, Russell Wilson's never had that big target guy. Well, then we got Jimmy Graham. It finally worked, and they got rid of him. So now this is really Russell Wilson's first opportunity with a big frame wide receiver that he is going to stay with him and grow with him, and this is a beautiful thing to be a part of.
It really is amazing. I love your analysis because you start out, and I'm thinking you're just going to be all lukewarm, like, yeah, he's pretty good, but I'm not sure. And all of a sudden it just goes, and then God created Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf. I love your analogy, man, because I didn't see that coming, but I love it. I totally agree. And I've got DK on my fantasy team, so I'm even more invested in what he does week after week. And of course, aside from that play that we talked about, he has not disappointed. Just so many. He's really stepped up big this year. And I remember, remember last year when we looked at DK Metcalf throughout the year, and there were a lot of other little moments of times when I felt he didn't use his body enough, that he kind of let the defender get the best of him, or he had weird balls that he dropped and just couldn't haul it in, or he had a weird fumble. I think it was against the Ravens or the Saints. I can't remember which one. It was one of those rainy games. I believe it was the Saints game, but Saints, yeah, terrible. But the game may have been lost already at that point. But I remember feeling, what are you doing, man? This is not what you're supposed to be doing here. You got to hold on to that ball. That's your job. You're a receiver. It's all about your hands. And I didn't find myself this year. I have not found myself saying any of that stuff this year. I mean, I felt like when the ball's been thrown to him, for the most part, he's caught it. Yeah, occasionally there's been, a couple times, but well defended. The first touchdown that he should have had, it was in his hands, and then he got hit, punched that fist up in there and kind of knocked the ball loose. But for the most part, he's been really solid. It's almost to a point where I wonder, Russell Wilson's just talking about him constantly and spending all this time. And I'm wondering, do the other receivers feel left out? Do they get jealous at all? Or are they all just all happy like, oh, no, that's great. It just helps us out. I just wonder, because you don't hear him talking about spending Mexico time with Tyler Lockett or with Moore or anybody else. So I always wonder, does that have any effect on it? Or is it just like we're all a team? And, I don't see Tyler Lockett being like the ego-tripping kind of guy. But I'm just curious if you guys think that has any bearing on anything whatsoever. Calvin?
I mean, maybe deep down, some of the other receivers are like, damn, I wish, I wish I'd go to Mexico with Russell Wilson. I promise you I'd be at DK's level too if I was, going over to Mexico every single day. But no, I think that overall, looking at the bigger picture, I don't think it really affects the other guys. I mean, look at our offense, look at how many points we've been scoring every single game, there's really no reason to complain.
Yeah. Noah, any thoughts on that? You think this is just a ridiculous little brain fart of mine? But it occurred to me when I kept hearing all this praise from Russell Wilson, all this time they were spending. I was thinking, what about the other dudes, Well,
Norb, I know you're not a basketball guy, but when LeBron James went to Miami, Dwayne Wade had to take a step back because he knew he wasn't the best guy on the team anymore. That's the wide receiving core with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Tyler is Dwayne Wade. LeBron is DK Metcalf. Now that LeBron's on the team, it's LeBron's team. Like, you're just going to let him do his thing for the betterment of the team. Dwayne Wade, Tyler Lockett, both extremely humble, both willing to play their role to help this team win the championships that are coming. Tyler Lockett sees what DK is, sees what he's capable of. That's his brother, and he wants to see him be successful. So he's stepping back for the betterment of the team, even though he was here first, and it's a great thing for Seattle.
All right, so we won't even consider that an issue. So we'll move to our next topic of conversation. But a quick reminder, so in case you guys want to look up these guys' channels, their YouTube channels are in the description, but you can follow Calvin at SteeZA Smith and Noah Boelter, of course, at DJ Squabo. Their names are right there on the title. So give those guys some love. Definitely hit up their channels and give them a like, give them a follow, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. So we did a score prediction, as we always do every week, and we don't have the rest of our panel, unfortunately, to react to them. But I do want to bring up what our predictions were, and let's see who was closest in the prediction of this game. As we know, it was a nail-biter, 27-26. So here was the score predictions of the Vikings as we had on the roundtable last week. Check it out. Give me a score prediction for the Seahawks-Vikings game.
I'm going to go 30-20.
27-17 Seahawks win.
Seattle 39, Minnesota 31.
35-27.
Seahawks 36, Vikings 24. All right, there we go. So there's the numbers right there. Just to repeat it, Martin said 30-20. Brian Abker had 27-17. SteeZA Smith had a high-scoring affair of 39-31. Noah, you said 35-27. Now, I originally predicted in my prediction video 26-24. But then I put the inflation factor for the Russell Wilson cooking when I didn't realize he wasn't going to cook for the first half. So I raised our score to 36-24, which I would have been almost on the money within a couple points if I had stuck with my original prediction video, but I didn't. So I think based on that, look at the numbers here, I think the closest would have to be Brian Abker predicting a 27-17 game. Even though it's not that close, of all of us, he had the closest score because he had the 27. He's at 27 for Seattle and a 10-point differential.
35-27, that's a closer differential, and I'm 1 point off on the Vikings. Come on.
Yeah, but you gave a lot more credit to Seattle's score. I don't know. I'm not sure how that works. You got the Vikings score, yes, but you did have it by 8. But Brian had the Seahawks score nailed. But he gave less credit. But he had a 10 off, so I'm not sure. Do you give? I don't know. Well, Calvin, what do you think? You could break the tie here since there's only 3 of us.
I mean, that's real hard. I see what Noah's saying. I also see what you're saying about Brian. I don't know. This might sound like a cop-out, but I'm staying out of this one. I don't know.
Well, let's go.
I mean, they're both close. Like,
Let's turn to all right. None of us can decide. Let's go to the YouTube chat. You guys decide who got the best score here. It's obviously between Brian Abker 27-17 or Noah 35-27. Do you give it to the guy who had the smaller point differential, and got the Vikings score right, but way overestimated the Seattle score? Or do you give it to Brian, who had the Seattle score nailed, but underestimated the Vikings and had it off by 10? You guys vote. I'm already seeing a landslide. Brian, Noah, Brian. Come on, guys. Brian, Noah. We'll have to tally it up and see how it goes. But right now, it's pretty much a Brian in the lead, probably by 2-1 at this point, but we'll see. We'll let you guys go in there and we'll look at the tally and see where it comes out. But for now, congratulations, Noah and Brian, the closest to the pin. Martin, myself, and Steezy, we were way off on this game. We way expected Seattle to score more points, and clearly that didn't happen. What I want to transition to is, one thing we haven't talked about is just we all thought maybe this rushing defense was top 5 going into this game. Well, clearly we've dropped a few pegs after this game, giving up 200-something yards to the Vikings, which is no surprise because of the fact that they had 2 really good running backs up there. So I want to kind of look ahead at what Seattle is right now. And we're 5-0. So no one's going to ever complain about being 5-0. But how real is this 5-0 that we should buy into? What does this mean really in the big picture? Because I think we all assume that we're going to make the playoffs. We do almost every single year anyway, even when we don't start this hot. Given this hot start, I think we'll be in the playoffs. The question is, will we be home field advantage? Will we division? Will we have a first round bye? Will we have home field throughout the playoffs? These are the things that obviously make the big difference, because every time we had that, we made it to the Super Bowl. And every time we didn't, we stopped at the divisional, and that's as far as we go. So I want to kind of do a little reaching forward here and looking ahead now that we've seen a little over a quarter of the season here. I want you guys to give me your take, what you think the Seahawks record will be at the end of the season, and what the Seattle need to do as we get into this stretch here, moving into the bye week and this next set of games. We're playing, this is how the schedule looks like. I have the schedule up here for a second. We play the Cardinals. We play the, I had my schedule up here for a second. There it is. We play, here's how tough this schedule is, if it wasn't tough enough already. We're at the Cardinals. Then we host the 49ers. Then we're at the Bills. Then we're at the Rams. Then the Cardinals here in Seattle. And then we go on the road to the Eagles. That's the next 6 games, 5 of which you could probably argue are all really tough. We're 5-0 right now with these 5 games coming up. So you guys, again, start off with, give me your season, or you can end it with what do you think the season prediction is going to be at the end of the year. But Calvin, let's start with you. What's your overall take at this point of the season? What do you see this team doing, and how will we get good enough to get over that hump of being stuck in the division in the playoffs? Do we have enough here? Is it there? Calvin, start with you.
Yeah, we definitely have enough. This 5-0 start definitely isn't a fluke, and we're doing this despite the array of injuries that we're dealing with on defense. And so this is definitely sustainable. I think that looking at the Cardinals and the season that they've had so far, they're not as good as advertised. They've been going through some struggles, especially on the defensive side of the football. And so I'm not as worrisome about that matchup. I still have us losing at least one of those divisional games, maybe even a few. But you also look at San Fran. San Fran just got destroyed by Miami.
Give me a score prediction for the Seahawks Vikings game.
To get healthy, yet they got annihilated. You look at the Rams. I mean, we're always splitting with the Rams, so I think that could be a potential loss. You look at the rest of the teams on the schedule. Philadelphia, their season's in shambles. The Giants, one of the worst teams in football. Jets, the second worst team in football. The Washington football team, they just benched Dwayne Haskins, and now Kyle Allen's injured. The Rams again, and the Niners, I could probably see us losing maybe a game or two. But I think that during the bye, I think our biggest priority is just to get healthy, rest guys up. I think that right now we have a team that's ready to contend, ready to win a Super Bowl, whether or not we make any additions, whether or not we make any trades for anybody. the season that Russ is having, the season that DK Metcalf is having, KJ Wright's having a renaissance year. Bobby Wagner's still one of the best
Chris Carson having a great year too.
Chris Carson. I mean, man, our offensive line's looking like it's been the best line we've had in years. I think that everything's really starting to come together. Now, a lot of people are saying that, during our bye week, we should fire Ken Norton. Now, I don't know about that. I think if we could bring in Dan Quinn, then maybe we could fire him. But I don't know about firing him. I think we should give him another chance. Let guys like Jamal Adams get healthy. Let Quinn Dunbar kind of establish some rhythm with this defense and the system. Benson Mills having a career year. He's done a solid job. I mean, I would put most of the blame on the defensive struggles on injuries. And so I think that our biggest priority is just to get healthy, guys, get some much-needed rest, and we'll be ready to hopefully go 14-2 by the end of the season.
14-2. So that's your record prediction, 14-2.
Yes, sir.
That would be the best finish by a Seahawks team in franchise history if we can pull that off. 14-2. I like that. What did you have before the season, at the beginning of the season, before the first game? What did you have realistically at the time?
I had 12-4.
So you've upped it by a couple games, 14-2. Okay. All right, Noah, let's turn it to you. And let me just remind you as you break this down. We're 5-0. We could easily be 2-3 if we don't stop Cam Newton at the 1-yard line. If we don't stop Matheson at the 4-yard line Sunday night, and if the Cowboys somehow, pull off some kind of thing there where they're coming down the field and could have pulled that off, we could be 2-3 right there in the basement with the 49ers. So that's how close it's been. And not that this is any surprise, right? I think every season has been like that, where you can almost say, if this play goes here, this plays here, we'd be 5 wins the other way or 5 losses the other way. But I'm just saying, 5-0, is it a mirage? Or are we really hanging our hat on it? And would we be talking about Dan Quinn's got to come in here and take Ken Norton's place if we're 2-3 because our defense is so bad? It's wins cover those blemishes. So I'm just throwing that up for food for thought before you bring your argument here. So go ahead. Convince me why the Seahawks are better than I could be saying they are right now with this devil's advocate. Go.
Oh, so that's this devil's advocate, right?
I'm not saying. I just got to bring it up for argument's sake. I got to look at the other side of the coin. So, but I love your analysis. I'm ready for it. I want you to bring it here, man. Here we go.
Look, all right. So we're 5-0 right now. I agree with Steve. I say, looking at the rest of the schedule, 14-2 looks pretty appropriate. Reason being, this next stretch is gonna kick our butts if we don't come out and kick their butts, but it's coming off of a bye. We're probably going to have Jamal back. We're definitely loaded up, and this is the most important stretch of our season. We play Arizona on the road, and then we have San Fran at home, at Buffalo, at the Los Angeles Rams. That is a really tough trip, but those 4 individual matchups aren't going to be the end of the world. Arizona hasn't been as impressive as we thought that they might be, especially early on in the season. And then the LA Rams have been impressive, but the San Francisco 49ers have been horrible. I just got eliminated from the Eliminator Challenge last week because I bet on them as the lock of the week. But, I'm okay with losing that one because the Niners are trash as of right now, and it's pretty great to watch Jimmy Garoppolo get benched. Buffalo just got humiliated on Tuesday Night Football for the first time ever, pretty much. So, these teams are not unbeatable, and Seattle has not lost a game yet. So I could see us, and I'm going to predict that we go 3-1 through that stretch. Originally, I said we lose at home to San Francisco. Now I say we lose to the Rams at Los Angeles after the Buffalo's victory. I think we start 3-0, get a little ahead of our britches, 8-0, and then go 8-1 and lose at the Los Angeles Rams. Then down the stretch of the season, I have the game circled, and I've had it circled since last year, and it's going to stay circled until after the game, that Arizona at Seattle as a loss. And I'm keeping that as a loss no matter what, and nobody's going to convince me otherwise. So I say we lose at home to Arizona. I say we lose on the road to the LA Rams, but I think we're a 14-2 ball club. We go for that number 1 seed, unprecedented year, unprecedented times, and we have a foundation that has been built built in the past, and that we can rely on our quarterbacks and the guys on our locker room, Pete Carroll, to rally us and get the troops ready like they have in the past. Once again, this was the COVID year where off seasons weren't as magnificent. We see Tom Brady in Tampa Bay with all that talent already, 25 offensive penalties this year, and they've just struggled offensively, and it's because they haven't had time together. Well, Seattle's been together. That's why we're playing so well. And moving down the stretch here, we definitely have a scheduling break after that. We have to focus on the stretch, but I think we go 3-1 and then 14-2.
Wow, so you and Calvin both got together and decided we were going to be 14-2. No, you didn't plan that, or that's just kind of your take, huh? I like it, man.
I could see a third loss, but I'm not going to predict it.
Well, as I said in my music prediction video at the beginning of the year when I hadn't seen anything of this team, I said we would be 11-5. Many people got on my case for that. Well, I was wrong about the Atlanta Falcons game, way wrong about Atlanta, period. So that already moves my prediction to 12-4. So now where does this put things at? I'm right on target, minus the Atlanta game. So I predicted that we would have won every game after Atlanta. So really, I'm right on the money in terms of where we would be at this point, minus that game. So if I adjust accordingly, my end result would be 12-4. I did not think the Seattle defense was going to be this bad. We remember all off season, we talked about how Pro Football Focus ranked Seattle as being the worst defense in the NFL. Remember how we were like insulted? We were saying, what are these guys? What are they talking about? We got Jamal Adams like, but clearly we've just gone from a number 32 defense. We're got to be at their 15 or 16. Well, I hate to say, but Pro Football Focus is kind of looking like they knew what they were talking about.
No, you can't. Don't even. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm not saying. Hold on. I'm not done yet. I'm not done. I'm just saying. I'm bringing up things that we discussed in the past, and defense was a big contention during the offseason about how we felt so insulted that it was going to be, that they're saying how bad it was going to be. And right now, we haven't proven anybody wrong yet on that, right? I don't know where we stand rushing-wise, but defensively, yards-wise, we're the worst passing defense in the NFL. I think that still stands. Defensively, we were great, but we're dropping real quick. So, that being said, what do I predict now that based on my prediction video, 12-4? I believe in Russell Wilson. I believe in DK Metcalf, and I believe that 8th day you were talking about, that God created the connection between DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson. Am I going to stick with that 12-4 prediction? I'm not. I believe that we are going to gain one game. I'm not going to go crazy here because that defense thing lurks heavy on my mind. That term, defense wins championships, lurks heavy on my mind. However, we all saw what the Greatest Show on Turf did back in 1999, where they didn't have much of a defense. The Rams of St. Louis won a Super Bowl with one of the greatest shows on turf. And we are still continuing to be one of the greatest show on field turf in 2020. So I say we pick up that game. I was not impressed by what I saw of the Buffalo Bills yet last night. The way that the Tennessee Titans took them down, I was not impressed by that. I expected a much better performance out of the Bills. The Cardinals, I expected was going to be the surprise team, second place in the NFC West. And I thought the Rams would be in last place. So these guys have kind of flip-flopped a little bit here. The Rams are kind of, quietly taken off, while the 49ers, as you said, are imploding. Injuries for sure, but just a mess right now. But the Cardinals kind of start off hot, and now they're sort of like, kind of come back down to earth a little bit. So what does that mean? I say, yes, we pick up a game here. I do believe that we get a game against the Bills. I think we're going to win that game. However, I still feel like we are going to have our struggles against the NFC West. But because of that picked up game, I say I move my my record prediction 12-4. We're going to be 13-3 to finish the season. We are going to split games with the NFC West. I'm not changing my tone on that. I just can't go all the way and say that because I'd love to be wrong, because 14-2 sounds really good. But this razor sharp margin, man, is going to bite us in one of these games. So 13-3. But we will win the division. But I don't know yet if we can win the number 1 seed because the freaking Packers are also undefeated and playing pretty well too. Well, we can get into a whole different discussion on that because it's a long way to go. All right, so there you go. 14-2, 14-2, 13-3. I am adjusting a little bit for that, but we'll see what happens here during this bye week. Pray to God we get healthy, man. We just need some guys on the field, some guys we haven't even seen yet. And I think a lot of things can change in our favor. This defense can be improved once we get a few of our players back in there. All right, so we do have trivia coming up here, but I think we have time. I did say we were going to take some calls. I want to do that here. Let's go to the phone line. You guys have been waiting very patiently here. So let's go to the phone lines. Let's see if this technology works correctly. We also have some people waiting in the Discord as well. So we'll see how many we can get in here before we jump into that. Let's go to, I believe it's Devon from the 263. Let's try this out. Devon, is this you? Oh, got to turn on the callers. Here we go. Devon, you're on with NorbCam and the Roundtable.
Oh, you can. Oh, awesome! I've been listening to you guys for a while.
Yeah, thanks for being so patient waiting on there. Is that I see your name coming up as Devon Baldwin. Is that correct?
Yeah, just Devin. Yeah.
Oh, Devin. All right, I was going to put a little French to it. Devon Baldwin. So you're related to Doug? Is he your second cousin or something?
God, I wish. I always say it, though, when someone asks my last name. Yeah.
I'm sure you've never heard that before. All right, so where are you calling from, man? What's the 263? I'm used to say the 253. Where's the 263?
Oh, 253. I thought I do have a 253.
Oh, it is. It's just my computer screen is just kind of messed up. Okay, you're 253. All right, neighbors of ours. All right. So what you got? What's on your mind, man?
Man, all I gotta say is I have never seen a game where we've had 0 3-point conversions and our time of possession has been literally doubled and we won somehow. I don't know if anyone's ever done that.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? No third down conversions. That is crazy. 0. But we had 2 fourth down conversions, big ones. Yeah, that is nuts. That is nuts.
I don't know how you win a game like that.
Sorry, but we can't hear him.
Feels special.
Oh, you guys can't hear him?
No.
Mm-mm.
Ah, darn it. Hold on a second, man. I should have checked this technology earlier. Hold on a second. He's saying some great stuff here. Let's see.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
I may have to paraphrase because I'm not sure if I can fix this on the fly. This may be. Wait, hold on a second. Maybe I can. Hold on.
Yeah, no, if you just like whatever his question is.
Keep on talking, man, and I'll just translate for the guys while I'm working on this frantically behind the scenes.
Well, I guess I was going to say one thing that I'm going for 14-2 this year too, and I think
you're going 14-2 as well. All right.
I don't think we'll beat the Bills unless we have Penny back.
Yeah,
it's weird. If they attack the outside, they suck on the outside, but we don't have any running backs that can attack the outside. You know.
He's saying that it doesn't think that if we don't get Penny back, we're not gonna have any running backs who attack the inside. But Chris Carson running between the tackles, looking like beast mode. What are you talking about, man? He can run between the tackles. He's great between the tackles.
I can attack the outside.
Oh, the outside.
Look at the Bills.
You're saying he's great between the tackles, not great around the outside. So you're saying Rashad Penny's got to come in here and be the speed guy around the edge. Okay. You know, it's funny. We haven't really been talking about. We didn't talk much about Rashad Penny. You know, he's been quietly just sort of forgotten because he's on that PUP list, but he is coming back. It's nice to know that he's going to be there eventually, hopefully, in decent shape. So
yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm curious.
Yeah. All right. Well, 14-2. I like it. You're in line with the rest of the panel. So a good prediction there, man. All right.
Yeah, I think there's something special going on this week.
It is definitely something special. All right. Appreciate you calling, man. Go Hawks.
Have a good one.
You bet.
Go Hawks.
All right. So let's see here. Sorry you guys can't hear. I thought I had this technology worked out, but oh well. Let's see. Let's take a call from Discord here. Let's talk to Lord Superior. Hey, can you hear me? From the Discord. Lord Superior, are you there? Let's try this again. Lower Superior, are you on? Are you in the chat? Hello? Oh, maybe not. All right, let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to the 260 in Fort Wayne, Indiana. What's up? You're with the Roundtable. Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Matt from Fort Wayne. Actually, I think I called after the Miami game.
Oh, okay, but, Matt from Fort Wayne, Indiana. All right, man. It's good to talk to you again. So, what's on your mind? What you got?
Well, I was really hoping that this week we would see kind of what the defense was able to do as far as stopping the run, as we talked about earlier. We were going to try and see if Dalvin Cook was going to kind of have his way, or if we were actually a good run defense. I think we got our answer before he went out, but I'm kind of up there with you, where I'm still worried about the defense, but I do think we'll go something to the extent of 13-3, just because we have this 5-game cushion. Kind of embarrassed. I in the preseason I predicted us to go 10-6. So I really hope I'm not right on that, because that'll mean we kind of collapse down the stretch. But
so you originally predicted 10-6. Yeah, so 10-6, but now you've readjusted to my 13-3 because of this hot start. Yeah. All right. Concerned about the run defense, though.
Yeah, because basically when I was thinking about how we were going to do, I was looking at our schedule. I knew our schedule would be tougher. For starters, I thought Atlanta would be a lot better than they are. I was thinking that normally when a team goes 10-1 in one-score games or whatever we did last year, usually there's some regression from that. So I just and then I figured San Francisco would be a lot better than they are. I didn't think they'd have all the injuries and all that stuff. So
yeah, San Francisco definitely.
Process, but yeah,
San Francisco definitely being the surprise disappointment, but not to our disappointment. We're happy to see San Fran going through their struggles.
It warms my heart to see them in the bottom of the standings, for sure.
For sure, man. All right, well, sounds good. 13-3. Yeah, hopefully the defense can just step it up a little bit, and that's all we need. They don't have to be great. They just have to be okay to pretty good, I think, is all we need. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the call, man.
Just average, I mean.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it, man. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's get to another call here. We got a few more minutes. Let's go to the 206. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your name?
I called you a few months ago.
I
don't know if you remember or not. Jonah.
Jonah, okay. Sounds familiar. Turn down your volume in the background because I can hear like a little echo going on there. But yeah, so what's your thoughts on this team, man? You feeling pretty good? Give me a record prediction.
Maybe either 15-1 or 16-0 if we don't lose to the Rams, like we always do.
Okay. Hey guys, can you hear this phone now? Panel? I think. Go ahead and say your record again. I want to see if the panel can hear you now. I'm working on some technical stuff while I'm talking to you.
15-1, but if we that's if we lose to the Rams. But if we don't lose to the Rams as usual, I think we're going 16-0 for the first time.
Wow. Okay. 16-0. Did you guys catch that?
We hear him now, but we don't hear you.
Oh, that's great.
I can't. Or if you're responding, we can't. I can't hear Norb.
Okay, I can work that out.
Oh yeah.
I can hear the caller.
I want to address something.
All right.
So someone in the chat named Awesome Kid honestly thinks that the Cardinals are better than the Seahawks and thinks Kyler Murray is better than Russ.
Whoa. Okay, well, somebody in there. That's because he's a Cardinals fan. Well, of course he's going to say that. But
Hello?
yeah, that's a little slightly biased opinion there. So we're not going to worry too much about that.
Everybody's laughing. I can see the chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, is Norb still on?
No, yeah. No, like we just can't hear him.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Okay, so.
But to be honest about the Vikings game,
yeah.
when they were at the fourth and inches,
Yeah.
I had like a mini heart attack. I don't know, like, to be honest, I thought we were gonna lose because, like, how many yards did they have against us running?
They had a bunch.
Almost
200. Yeah,
If not
200
over 200,
something. Yeah, that was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's a sort of a miracle that we won
jumping
this
up
game.
and down.
Yeah, no, it was. That just made the comeback all the more sweeter because of that. Can you guys hear me now? Hey, panel, can you guys hear me now? Maybe not. I guess they can't. I'm doing tech support as we're going through here, man. Hey,
No, we cannot hear you.
okay, that's all right. We'll work it out. Anyway, man, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Okay, shout out. You're doing really good.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm just trying to make it work.
Bye.
I'm producing, hosting, and
Bye.
engineering all at the same time. All right, appreciate your call, man. Appreciate it. All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Go Hawks. All right, this is always fun when I'm trying to, like, fix things on the fly. But I'm going to get this. I'm going to get this to work. So my panel can also hear me. I'm going to get this. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
I'm like watching like a 3-second delayed version of him trying to.
Oh, and of course I have my USB is acting funky. That's just.
But it's tough.
Oh man! Of all the days I'm having all these little issues happening, still not working. I guess you guys still can't hear me. All right. Well, that's okay. Okay, we'll take one more call, and we're gonna have to go to the trivia. Let's go to the 626. What's up, man? You're on with NorbCam of the Roundtable. What's up?
Hi, what's up? What's up? I'm a huge Seahawks fan. I'm here in Southern California.
All right.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you. What's your name? Is it Krishnan?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what's your thoughts? What's your take on this team?
12-4, 13-3. Logistically speaking.
12-4 or 13-3?
Because I know we don't do well in LA. I've been to like since the Coliseum opened. I've been to like all of our games when we play them in LA. Yeah, I went last year as well. It was kind of besides for Quandre, that game was pretty heartbreaking. But I don't see us going 14-2 because it's just not. It doesn't really seem possible because I think we're going to drop at least 2. We always lose to Arizona at home. We did last year as well. So I see 12-4, 13-3.
Okay. All right. Well, that still should be good enough for us to get the division. I would think the way that the things are shaking out. Hopefully we can take care of the Rams. Like you said, we can take care of the Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
They're our biggest competition because we always win in Arizona.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. All right, man. Well, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. Bye.
Okay. Let me just get back to the guys here. Little adjustment here. Okay. Panel, you guys can hear me again now, right?
Oh, there
Absolutely.
you go.
Okay. All right. Technical things, man. It's like all my little backup systems are failing me here. My backup camera failing me. My backup mic failing me. Well, here we go. All right. Well, I wanted to get to the trivia next because Nick LeBeau was kind enough to share with me a trivia contest here. So I made a couple modifications, added a couple questions, but it's pretty good. Got some good questions in here. So we're going to definitely do the game. But first, I want to Oh, actually, I'm asking, what a perfect transition. Duran Everest in the Super Chat says, will there be a trivia today? And by the way, my record prediction is 13-3. Boom! 13-3, baby. That's what I got. And boom! Yes, we're doing trivia, and we're going to do it right now. So let's get your Kahoot apps or your Kahoot.com ready. I'll give you the number in just a moment, and we will see how well you guys know these trick little questions from Mr. Nick LeBeau. So here comes the trivia. Let's get the number up here. Where are you here? Right there. Okay, here we go. Oh, there it is. All right, starting the game now. Stand by. Here is the number. The number is 699-7412. To join the game, 699-7412. Let's test your Seahawks and NorbCam knowledge. 699-7412. We'll take the first number of people up to 50. You got about a minute to sign up. 699-7412. We've got Ad, MM Cool Kid, Seahawks 124, Rust 99 Club. Yeah, I saw that video too. Thomas, Seagal, Seattle Ricky, Cameron Hughes, Rain City, Ben, Titan CJ, Chilaquiles, Skip, Go Hawk 687, Crisosimo, Yona 206 number 3 for MVP. God is good. DK, Damien, 46 of you already in here. 47. Wow, that was quick. That filled up quick. Phoenix FN in the super chat says 16-0 or 15-1, and the only loss of the Seahawks will be against the Buffalo Bills? Really? Okay. Sweeping the NFC West? That would be a monumental achievement if we could sweep the NFC West, man. All right, 52 in there. Jesus is King, Rampancy, Gordon Wilson, Lakers, Lockett, Meyer, DK Metcalf. That's a Rohan move right there. Game Champion 1, Seahawks. Nikki, we got 54 in the house. Ian, Melodic Raccoon 64. I'll give you 10 more seconds. 10 seconds to comply. 10, 9, 8. Dixon for MVP. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 57 in the house now. Go Hawks 2002. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's go. 57 of you. Full house here. Let's go. Let's start this game right about now. Let Russ cook. You got in. 58 of you. Here we go. Starting the game right now. Trivia from Nick LeBeau. Thank you, Nick. It's starting in 3, 2, 1. Which Seahawks player got the safety to open Super Bowl 48? Was it Bobby Wagner, Chris Clemens, Cliff Averill, or Michael Bennett? Which Seahawks player got the safety to open Super Bowl 48? Bobby Wagner, Chris Clemens, Cliff Averill, or Michael Bennett? 3, 2, 1. Time is up. The correct answer is Cliff Averill. 19 of you guys got that correct. Let's go to the panel for your answers here. Starting with you, Calvin.
I got it wrong. I said Michael Bennett, our other free agent edition. Got the two mixed up.
Okay. All right. Now, I have to say, I did not fact check all this. So if anything's wrong here, blame Nick LeBeau because I did not have time to fact check it. So I'm assuming he did all his due diligence and got this correct. So I do not, I'll say it already right here. I do not take any responsibility for any incorrect answers. But based on that, Noah, what do you got?
I'm 99% sure this is right because I remember him getting up the ball and then running and do the safety things, and I thought it was great, so I remembered it.
Okay, all right. So Noah, you're on the board with 1 point here. Let's go to the YouTube scoreboard. In first place, DeRam Stink. Second place, DK Metcalf, followed by Dangerous for MVP, and then Dixon for MVP, and then Ben in fifth place. Let's go to question number 2. Who was the only Seahawk to record a sack in Super Bowl 48? Was it Cliff Averill, Brandon Mebane, Chris Clemens, or Michael Bennett? The only Seahawk to record a sack in Super Bowl 48. Cliff Averill, Brandon Mebane, Chris Clemens, or Michael Bennett? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. Look at this. Trick questions here. The correct answer, according to Nick LeBeau, is Chris Clemens. 13 of you got that one correct. Let's go to the panel. Calvin.
So I went Chris Clemens at first, but then last minute I was like, Brandon Meeban, because I don't think we're going to see his name again in this trivia. So I got it wrong.
Oh, man. To be honest with you, I don't even remember what the Chris Clemens sack looks like. I don't remember the play. But Noah, do you remember it?
No. I was thinking Averill, because when he tipped Peyton's arm, and I was thinking that was like a strip sack, but it was really just a pick. So.
It's just a pick six. So
I went Meebane and got it wrong.
Oh wow, yeah, I have to review that because I do not remember the. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just don't remember it. It's just not. I have all these plays that you remember from that game, and I just don't remember Chris Clemens getting the sack. I'll have to check that out because I'm surprised.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Nick LeBeau, I hope you know your information here. All right, let's go to the scoreboard. Oh, Danger Us for MVP moves up to first, followed by Ben in second, Go Hawks in third, Ian in fourth, and Schmilligard in fifth place. Always love to see Schmilligard because that's just a cool last name. Next question. True or false? Nobody on the Seahawks Super Bowl 48 roster had previously been to a Super Bowl. True or false? Nobody on the Seahawks Super Bowl 48 roster had previously been to a Super Bowl. True or false?
That's so tough.
Time is up. Man, everybody's split on this one, but 26 of you got the right answer, and it is true that nobody on that roster had ever been to a Super Bowl. Let's go to Calvin. Did you know this?
I didn't, but I got it right. I kind of just guessed because I was thinking about our veterans, Red Bryant, Michael Robinson.
I thought of Chris Clemens. Like, had Chris Clemens ever been on there? And
I was just like, we were still mostly a young team, and I don't remember any of those guys ever having any success in their previous stops. If they even had any previous stops, I don't think Red Bryant played for a team before Seattle. So
I know Michael Robinson, he played on the 49ers. He was a fullback on the 49ers, and they never.
Oh, he did.
But wait a minute, right? Didn't he? He was with the 49ers.
No, he was for the Niners, but he was in Seattle.
But in Seattle when the Niners went to the Super Bowl. So that would have been right because that was that previous year in 2011 when they went to the Super Bowl. Or no, sorry, 2012 they went to Super Bowl 47. So Noah, did you get this one correct?
I did, but it was a guess. I was just honestly like, this is almost like, it almost feels like false would be the more sensible answer. So I said true, and it was right.
True.
Yeah. Well, if you say false, you got to think, well, who would it be? And it's really hard to think of anybody who pumps off the page.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about a lot of the same bands, honestly. I was like,
Yeah, yep. All right, let's go to the scoreboard to see how things change over here. Dangerous for MVP stays in first. Ian moves to second. DK Metcalf moves to third. Schmilligard up to fourth place. And Ben slides back in, hanging in there in the fifth spot. Next question. Number 4. Which former Seahawks receiver has starred in a series of YouTube videos titled Fresh Files? Was it Sidney Rice, Golden Tate, Doug Baldwin, or Brian Blades? Which former Seahawks receiver has starred in a series of YouTube videos titled Fresh Files? Sidney Rice, Golden Tate, Doug Baldwin, or Brian Blades? 3 seconds. Time is up. And wow, I'm surprised most people, it was so even across the board. The 14 of you got Doug Baldwin, because Dougie Fresh Files. But yeah, kind of even, 13, 12, 14, 16, but 14 of you got it right. Doug Baldwin. I actually watched a couple episodes of that. Panel, Calvin.
I honestly had no clue. I kind of just guessed. I just said Brian Blades. But now that I think about it, I mean, I can see Doug Baldwin, being the guy for the show. I mean, he's fresh, so.
I just remember that Dougie Fresh, but maybe that was just not really a direct connection. But okay, so Calvin missed that one. Noah, how about you?
I was like, 3 of them played together. One of them was Brian Blades, so I went Brian Blades too. I was wrong.
Wow.
I didn't know.
Okay. All right. I guess I must be the only one who watched that show because nobody seems to know about it. Okay. So the score remains Noah with 2, Calvin with 1. Let's go to the scoreboard and see what happens there in the YouTube land. Danger Russ for MVP stays in first. Ian in second. Go Hawks 687 moves up to third. Schminnegard stays in fourth. And Mihir moves into the top 5 at number 5. Next question. Number 5. How many touchdowns did Russell Wilson throw in his rookie year? 31, 25, 26, or 30? How many touchdowns did Russell Wilson throw in his rookie year? 31, 25, 26, or 30? I see my panel smiling up there. I think they might know this one. Time is up. And so did YouTube. 28 of you got this one correct. Yes, that magic number was 26. If I do believe, didn't he match the Peyton Manning record that year? Mm-hmm. Man, Russell's got a way of tying Peyton Manning, but never quite breaking it. What's up with that? But he did beat him in Super Bowl 48. That's all that matters. Okay, so let's go to the panel. I think this goes without saying. Calvin, I think you know this, don't you?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Baker Mayfield has since broken that record with 27, but I just hope that if Russell Wilson still eclipses 50, he's able to eclipse the 55 that Peyton Manning had in 2013 and route to win hopefully his first NFL MVP.
That would be awesome. Noah, you got this?
I mean, Halloween's right around the corner, so I guess this is pretty good practice taking candy from a baby. That was an easy one.
All right. You know what I'm trying to understand here or figure out as Halloween's only, as you mentioned, a couple weeks away. I don't know what we're supposed to do. My kids, I don't know if we're supposed to trick or treat or not. I'm getting mixed reactions. So I don't know if I'm supposed to go out and do I do a whole setup at my house. Okay, so I get the cobwebs all over the front. I get the fancy lighting. I have a sound system with horror music playing, a smoke machine. I go all out, man. Some kids are terrified to come up to the door, but I'm trying to decide, do I still do that? Because what fun is that if no one's gonna come up? Plus, I have one of those jumping spider things, so it scares the crap out of them when they come up to the door. I love it, but I don't feel like no one's going to come up to the door. It's kind of just depressing. So I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do for Halloween this year. Now you guys are too old to trick. What?
Leave like a whole bunch of candy outside your house in 6-foot increments, like one every 6 feet, and just like they can just pick one and go.
That never works. You can never put a bowl out and say take one. You know what happens? Clean it out. It's gone after 15 minutes. But anyway, I digress. We'll see. This is going to be the weirdest Halloween ever. We've never had, from my whole life, I've never gone through a life where I didn't have Halloween. I mean, it's always been there. It's weird, man. I mean, more reliable than I can't say I've never been to a Seahawks game all my life because I didn't start going till later in life. But there's always been candy and Halloween. So I'm just gonna have to buy the candy, and if we don't give it out, then that's just more for me. So let's go to the scoreboard, and it won't be for my kids because I'll hide it from them. All right, scoreboard time. Danger Russ for MVP, still at number 1. DK Metcalf in second. Go Hawks 687 in third. Mihir moves up to fourth, and Go Hawks on there at number 5. Next question. Number 6. What play-by-play announcer is in the Seahawks Ring of Honor? Is it Steve Rabel, Pete Gross, Dave Niehaus, or Don Heinrich? What play-by-play announcer is in the Seahawks Ring of Honor? Steve Rabel, Pete Gross, Dave Niehaus, or Don Heinrich? You have 3 seconds. Time is up. And the correct answer, a bunch of you got it, is the legendary Pete Gross. Grew up listening to him quite a bit back in the day in the 70s and 80s. Steve Rabel eventually, after he stopped playing receiver for the Seahawks, became the color guy, and then eventually became the play-by-play guy today. Pete Gross is the correct answer. 15 of you got it correct. Let's go to our panel. How well do you know your voice history of the Seahawks? Calvin.
I wish I knew it better. I went with Dave Niehaus because that was the name that I'm most familiar with.
Dave Niehaus is a Hall of Famer, but he's in the other Hall of Fame, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, for his amazing voice work for play-by-play for the Mariners. Probably, for me, the greatest play-by-play announcer that I at least had the pleasure of listening to. Dave Niehaus, he could have read the phone book, and he'd make it sound so good and so interesting. It doesn't matter what he was talking about. He had to talk about the Mariners for so many terrible seasons, so he had to make that sound interesting. Okay, so Calvin was in the wrong sport. Sorry, man. What about you, Noah?
So honestly, like, I didn't know this one. I was looking at Rabel. Like, I'm pretty sure they wait till after your career to put you in the Ring of Honor. Okay. So I didn't say Rabel, but I also didn't say Pete Gross because I was like, I know Niehaus did baseball, but I'm like, I don't know who did Seahawks. Man, maybe it could have been both. Like, you know, like, I don't know. But and maybe because, like, he passed away and it was tragic. So I just said Niehaus, but I was wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Pete Gross, I believe he died of cancer. They gave him the honor after that. I want to say, was it throat cancer? I don't remember exactly what it was. But, yeah, he was... before I could go to games, I would listen to him, and he had a higher registered voice. My touchdown Seahawks! It was a little more higher voice compared to the touchdown Seahawks. It had a different sound, but I grew up on it, man. It was the team wasn't great, but Pete Gross definitely kept me entertained for a long time until I get to finally go see the games myself. All right, let's see how well the YouTube audience knows their voice trivia.
Not here. He would have got that.
What's that?
Oh, easily.
Oh, yeah, if Abker? Oh, Abker would have been. Oh, are you kidding? He'd be all over it. All right, let's go to the scoreboard YouTube. Let's see what happens here. Dangerous for MVP, just running away right now with 5,264 in first place. Mahir makes a big jump to second place. Go Hawks in third. Cameron Hughes, a familiar name, into fourth, and DK Metcalf holding strong at fifth. Next question. Number 7. How many Seahawks have been inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame? 5, 9, 12, or 11? How many Seahawks have been inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame? 5, 9, 12, or 11? I thought I knew this, and I was way off. Time is up. Wow. Everybody was way off on this one. The correct answer is 11, and only 5 of you on YouTube got this one correct. I got to go count that because I was surprised when I saw it so high. Quick Phoenix FN in the super chat says, white shirt, blue and green, you know I'm Chrysostomo. There's so many people claiming to be Chrysostomo these days. Okay, panel. How well do you know your Seahawks Hall of Fame trivia, Calvin?
Man, well, I was counting, and I got to 5, and the timer stopped at 5, so my answer was 5. But, I don't know. I'm kind of glad I got it wrong. I mean, to know that we have 11 Seahawks in the Hall of Fame, I think that means something, but I said 5.
No, I don't know them because I know the 5 that probably jumped off your page jumped off of mine, and after that, it's like, where do you find 6 more? My guess is that this must include players who played for the Seahawks, but then also probably played for other teams. Obviously, there's very few players who played only with one career, like Walter Jones and Steve Largent. But guys like Jerry Rice technically probably falls into that category. Heck, Franco Harris played for the Seahawks at one point, and then but then Warren Moon, he was a quarterback for the Houston Oilers, and then for the Seahawks, he probably also falls underneath that as well. So you start bringing those players in, and then coaches.
Blair Walsh.
Blair Walsh.
Not sure about that one. Anyway, so Calvin, you didn't get that one right. You stopped at 5. Noah, what about you?
I thought like Ring of Honor, and like we already have we have 5 in the Ring of Honor, so I was like, it's got to be more than 5. But I went with the most moderate guess, the most conservative, I guess. I said 9.
That was my first guess too. When I first saw this question, I was previewing everything, so I was shocked when I saw 11. I just thought, whoa. Who am I missing? Anyway, all right, so let's go to the scoreboard. Oh, King Mr. Epic says, what's up, Norb? You my favorite. Also, shout out. Well, there you go. King Mr. Epic. There's your shout out. Thanks for being here, man. Let's go to the super chat. Let's go to the scoreboard. Dangerous for MVP. Russell's running away with it. Mahir in second. Go Hawks in third. Michael Mullins slides up to the 4th spot, pushing Cameron Hughes down to 5th place. Next question. Number 8. What year did the Seahawks record their first winning season? Was it 1977, 1980, 1979, or 1978? Seahawks' first winning season. 77, 80, 79, or 78? Sorry, the order is kind of funky. Time is up. Wow, again, YouTube falling short on this. Only 9 people got this one correct. The correct answer is 1978. Calvin, what say you, my friend?
I said 1978. I knew that we were established in 76. I was like, 77 is too early. Yeah, no, that's all the announced. It's like, I'd actually buy and 78.
All right. Well, that puts you're tied with Noah for the time being, unless Noah got this answer correct. Noah?
No. I mean, this is double our lifetimes, like the opposite. Like, this is 20 years before we were born, man.
Don't remind me.
I guess 1980. But I have a theory now on the mental science of how this, I've seen enough questions now where I have a plan moving forward. So moving forward, we feel
well,
good.
you better figure it out soon, because we're getting near the end here. By the time you figure it out, the trivia will be over.
I got a formula. We'll see.
All right. Phoenix FN with another shout out says, is Jamal Adams a long-term player for us? Go Hawks. Let's answer that question real quick, guys. Is Jamal Adams going to be signed for a long term? He's only here for the 1 year right now. Theoretically, he could become a Clowney and be gone at the end of the year because there's no guarantee. Do you think the Seattle will get him signed for a long-term deal? Calvin.
Well, the difference between him and Clowney is that we only give up a 3rd-round pick and some change for Clowney. For Jamal Adams, we give up 2 first-round picks, a starting safety, and a 3rd-round pick. And so I think that well before he even wanted out of New York, he made it clear that he wanted to be the highest paid player at the position. And I think before we pulled the trigger on that trade, we were well aware of the demands that he had. I think that he's going to be a long-term player for us. We've definitely felt his impact in the few games that he has played for us this season. And I think that as he continues to gel and establish a rhythm with the rest of the defense, he's only going to continue to get better. He's still young. And I think that he's the perfect fit for our defense. And he's quite honestly our best pass rusher, if not our second best after Benson Mayowa. I don't see him leaving Seattle anytime soon. As long as the money's right, then he's a long-term keeper for us.
How about you, Noah? Agree?
Well, he's Anthony Davis. We traded the farm for him. We're going to win a championship in year 1, and then we're going to re-sign him. He instantly becomes the second best player on the team. And his impact has been felt early on, and it will be felt often. So he's Anthony Davis, and he's going to get re-signed.
All right. I hope we do, because I feel like this guy's got a lot of juice, a lot of left in the tank to contribute. And he seems like he really wants to be here. He's really passionate about being on a team with these amazing players, as he so highly talked about them when he got to be here. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Right now, we just got to get him back on the field, because right now he's so far of everything we gave up, he's only been able to play for 2.5 games. We missed him for the last 2, so we need him to be in there, especially down the stretch. All right, let's go back to the game, to the trivia, and to the scoreboard. Let's see where things line up after this old date question. Dangerous for MVP, still on top. Go Hawks in second. Moving up, me here in third, Michael Mullins in fourth, and Ben. Hey, Ben's back into the top 5 at number 5. Next question, number 9. What was the Seahawks' record in their first winning season? 9-6-1, 10-6, 11-5, or 9-7? What was the Seahawks' record in that first winning season? 9-6-1, 10-6, 11-5, or 9-7? Time is up. Oh, wow. YouTube's all over this one. 24 of you got this one correct. Yes, it was 9-7 was the record in 1978. Let's go to the panel. Calvin, tie ball game here.
I was about half a game back. I said 9-6-1.
Went with the unconventional tie in the record. You went 9-6-1, huh?
Yeah, just because we're not really familiar with seeing ties, and we were still a pretty fresh team in the NFL, and so I'm kind of just saying maybe we tied one of those teams, but like I said, I was a half a game back, so I got it wrong.
All right, so no score there. Noah, how about you?
My plan failed me. I said 10-6. We're back to the chalkboards.
So no score. You guys stay the same. So let's see what happens here in the YouTube scoreboard. Although most of you got this correct. Will there be changes? No change whatsoever. Stays the same. Dangerous for MVP. Go Hawks. Mihir, Michael Mullins, and Ben. Yeah. But Go Hawks is moving up 28 places trying to get up there. But Dangerous for MVP, the front runner right now. We'll see as we get down to the stretch. I think double questions are coming up very shortly. Next question right here. It is double points right now. Double Jeopardy. How many of the Seahawks first round picks since 2010 are still on the roster today? 5, 3, 7, or 4? How many of the Seahawks first round picks since 2010 are still on the roster today? 5, 3, 7, or 4? 5, 3, 7, or 4. Time is up. The correct answer, and not a whole lot got that. It was 4. 9 of you on YouTube got that one correct. A bunch of you said 3. 21 of you guessed 3 out there. But the correct answer, according to Nick LeBeau, was 4. Let's go to the panel here. Double questions, though. That adds up quick. Calvin.
So I got it wrong, but if I had maybe another second or two, I probably would have guessed 4. I was thinking Rashad Penny for sure.
Irvin.
Yeah, Bruce Irvin. 2. 3.
Or Brooks.
Jordan Brooks.
That's 4. Oh, that's 4. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, so who was the fourth one? Who was the fourth one? You said Penny,
Rashad Penny,
Brooks,
Irvin, and
Penny, Bruce, LJ.
Oh, LJ.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you forget the this year one?
I did.
I always forget that current one, man. It's always the trick part because they're still here and they just started. Noah, about you?
You know, I started counting them up and I got to 3, and I was running out of time, and so I looked at the board and I remembered what I got wrong last question, and I slightly adjusted it for inflation and got it right. And if I win this game, or even if I lose, I'll explain how I came to it, but I can't do it yet because it'll help him.
Okay, so right now, Noah has a 2-point lead in this very low-scoring defensive game right now with 2 double Jeopardy point questions to go. So let's see what happens here. But first, let's get to the YouTube scoreboard. Wow, Dangerous is just running away with the MVP. 95-68, almost to 10,000 points. Michael Mullins drops all the way to 5,900 in the score to get second place. And then it's Go Hawks, Mihir, and Let Russ Cook sneaking into the top 5. It's going to take a miracle for Dangerous for MVP to lose his spot here, but we've seen crazier things happen. Question number 11 coming up right here. Worth double. What percentage of teams that started out 5-0 made it to the Super Bowl? 43%?
Whoa, that's
26%? 38%? Or 32%? What percentage of teams that started out 5-0 made it to the Super Bowl? 43%? 26%? 38%? Or 32%? Time is up. Whoa, a lot of you guys got this. This is actually not a Nick LeBeau question. This is a NorbCam special right here. 38%. Courtesy, I read this article by Greg Bell of the Tacoma News Tribune, who did an article about this today, and he broke it down about the teams that went 5-0, how many made it to the playoffs, and of those who made it to the Super Bowl, and the number came out to 38%. So, there you go. 38% chance, I guess, if you use that as your odds, that Seahawks could be in the Super Bowl. Not bad, but is what you expected, Calvin?
I mean, for me, it came down to 26 and 32. I just thought that 43 and 38 was simply too high. I mean, there's so many factors that could derail a team even after they start 5. I mean, injuries. There's so many things that go into it. And so I was just like, you know what? It got to be 32 or 26. But obviously it's 38. And I think that with the way that Russ has been balling, we have a much higher percentage than that. But boy, was I glad I was wrong again.
Well, so now in this game with such low scoring and with double points on the line, Noah with a 2-point lead could basically, basically the Vikings at 4th and 1 at the 4-yard line could ice it with this answer. Let's see if he goes for it. Does he make it?
So, ignorance is bliss. I'll start with that because I didn't know that Norb wrote this question. So I was using my Nick LeBeau logic to answer this question, and somehow it worked.
Oh, no way! You got it right.
And that's why ignorance is bliss. Because if I knew you would have wrote this question, I would not have picked 38. But based on how Nick and I'll break it down in a little bit. But the answer of LeBeau's quiz would have been 38, and I said it. So.
Okay, well, maybe me and Nick are along the same lines of thinking. But either way, you've got a 4-point lead, and given there's only one question left, it looks like Noah's going to be the winner of this trivia already here by default. Looks like you decided to run the ball at 4th and inches, and you got the first down. Game over. Okay, Phoenix FN says, Norb cheated, Vanessa gone again. Oh, it's Chrysosma. Norb cheated, Vanessa gone again. We do still have to finish that story, by the way, once the COVID stops halting productions on things. Okay, final question, but we got to go to the scoreboard and see where everybody's lining up at. See, is Russell Wilson for MVP really running away with this thing? Looks like he is. Nothing's going to stop him now. Danger Russ for MVP with 11,000 plus points. Michael Mullins, though, on fire at second place at 7,434. Go Hawks in third. Cameron Hughes up to fourth, and Thomas in fifth. I wonder who Danger Russ for MVP is. Whoever it is very on top of it this game. All right, final question right here.
Killing it big time. Here we go. I don't know who's going to kill this one.
Nick LeBeau, bro.
If it's Nick LeBeau, man, you better not be playing your own game, man. Here we go. Final question. Double points. Which birthday did my mom just celebrate? 81st, 79th, 68th, or 76th? Which birthday did my mom just celebrate? I posted this on Facebook, so if you'd been on Facebook, you'd see it. 81st, 79th, 68th, or 76th? 81, 79, 68, or 76? Time is up. Oh, this one threw a monkey wrench into the YouTube scoreboard. Correct answer, he just turned 76 yesterday. Only 6 of you on YouTube got this correct. Let's go to Calvin. I know you guys had no context for this, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Calvin.
Don't tell her this, but I said 79.
I'm sure she's not watching. But I won't tell her. If nobody else watching this says anything, don't tell my mom that Calvin thought my mom was older than she actually is. Noah, did you play the proper age game when it comes to women and guess low, or did you actually nail this one?
No, first and foremost, as you know, I'm a gentleman, so I would never ask this question. But I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not as much of a guess in the dark as you make it out to seem, right? Like, if you're putting on this question, are you really going to make your mom's age be the oldest age on the list? Or are you going to put the other ages to be older to make your mom seem younger and shine her in a good light? So I said, Norb has a good heart. He's going to make it one of the lists, too. And honestly, this entire trivia, the answer has either been, like, if the answers were in order, like chronologically, like 2, 3, 4, 5, it's always been either 3 or 4. So I ended up saying 76 on the lower end and got it right.
Oh, yeah, you killed it. So you basically applied the when in doubt, pick C theory. Or B.
Kind of. There's more.
There's more to it.
Like, there's actually a lot more to it. Like, the reason that I got the last question right, it started off, I like to, like, for each question, like, you have to highlight which answer seems the most probable. And for Seahawks-focused questions, oftentimes that'll be the most successful answer. If you say, what was the Seahawks record this year? And it's 11-5, 10-6, 9-7, and 7-6-1. Like we're starting to figure out that like, okay, it was the third option. He did that twice, and then he did the second option twice. And so I was like, okay, he did the first one twice, and then he did the second one twice. And that's when it was the question about you that you wrote that I didn't know that you wrote. So knowing that he did 2 and 2, I'm like, okay, the pattern is by 2. So I said this one, and then you wrote that question. So somehow it worked, but it alternated, and that's why on this last question I alternated one more time and it was right again. So it just there are patterns to these things. It's very psychological.
Well, there always is a pattern in the number type ones, because when you do these questions, you generally don't put the lowest one or the highest. It's just kind of, it feels odd to put that there because it's so extreme. So usually the odds are they're going to land somewhere in the middle. The question is, are you going to go with the B or the C? But one of these days I'm going to do a trivia. I'm going to make every single one of them the lowest answer just to mess with you guys. So you throw that whole logic out the door. Okay, let's go to that wraps up. So Noah with an amazing finish. 9-3, the final score in the trivia. Just dominating by Noah today. You know, he's dressed in black with a tie. I'm surprised you're not wearing a crimson tie, but you know that purplish shade looks pretty good on you, man. But I like it.
Blue.
Oh, it reads like purple on the camera. I'm just saying, it looks a little more purple than blue, but okay. Nonetheless, you look very good, man, and you brought it. The looks helped you win, apparently. 9-3, the victory by Noah over Calvin in today's trivia. So let's go to the YouTube scoreboard and see who the final winners are. In third place with 65-40 is Thomas. 6 out of 12. In second, Michael Mullins with 88-70, 8 out of 12 questions. And in first place with 11,224 points, Dangerous for MVP. 11 out of 12 questions. Go Hawks, and Ben were the runners-up. 11,224 points, 11 out of 12 questions. I sure hope Nick LeBeau didn't play his own trivia, because that would be like a seriously low-rent move. But 11 out of 12 is very impressive to win in this game. Granted, even two of those questions were ones that I came up with. So congratulations, Dangerous for MVP. If you are there, take a picture of that winning screen and send me an email at norb@norbcam.com, and we'll figure out a reward for you, whether it be some merch or if you want to be on a future show. Let me know what you decide to do there. But send me an email anyway. And congratulations to Dangerous for MVP for winning the trivia contest. That was pretty awesome. All right, so that wraps up the trivia. Thank you, Nick LeBeau, again for coming up with the trivia contest. Some great questions in there, some very tricky ones. Threw a lot of us for a loop, and in things that I think we thought we would have known. I thought I would have known everything about Super Bowl 48, and to my surprise, there was actually some pretty good tricky questions in there. Anyway, so that's about it. So as I always do, I want to give my guests a chance to talk a little bit about their shows and where you can find them. So, Calvin, you go ahead and take the floor. Let them know where can they find you online.
Yes, sir. Well, thanks for allowing me to have the floor. As always, you guys got to follow Big Bo first. He just hit 40K, and he's still climbing. It's like 40.4K now, and so if you guys haven't already, please, show him some love, leave a like, drop a comment. Our channel links will be in the description, but you can find us, Noah, DJ Squabo, DJ, my bad, SQUABO. If you want to tune into the bowl every single Saturday, you got to subscribe to my mans. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I try to post snippets whenever I can. But you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook at Steezy A Smith, STEEZYSAIMTH. Because the Seahawks are on bye this week, I'm not dropping a 3 Keys video, and instead we're probably going to do either NBA or NFL fantasy. I may be even thinking about boxing. There's a few fights coming up, and so if you guys are interested in that, if that sounds good, be sure to check that out. And yesterday, one of my baseball guys, he actually dropped a video for us. It's an ALCS, NLCS postseason preview. I don't know how many baseball fans are out there, but if you guys are baseball fans, check out my guy's work. He's a real baseball nerd for sure, and I say that in a good way, and I mean it in a good way. But please be sure to check that out. At DZA Smith, at DJ Squadwell, at NorbCam. Show us all some love. We love you. And thank you for tuning in.
All right. I thought your internet was going to fall apart there at the very end, but you just got it in. So, yes, check him out at DZA Smith. I appreciate you being on here, man, always. And Noah, of course, give the folks a chance to get to know where they find you as well.
Yo, so I do 3 different shows every single week. One of them is right here on Norb's channel, so definitely subscribe to his channel. I also do a show on my channel at DJ SQUABO, and Calvin's on that channel as well, so definitely subscribe to his channel as well, Steezy A. Smith. Calvin, pretty soon we're going to have to readdress the discussion that we started a while back, and Norb might just tune out because he doesn't like this whole sport. But MJ versus LeBron, the debate is real. I just had that debate on my other show on Wazoo's radio station yesterday. It was getting pretty heated following LeBron's 4th ring. We're going to have that debate again, and the third person on the show, Asher, is going to be our moderator because someone's going to have to keep us apart in that debate. So that's on my Wazoo channel. All this stuff can be found on my channel. I have links posted for KUGR and the other shows that I'm doing, so definitely show me some love. MJ versus LeBron debates coming soon.
All right, very cool. So, yeah, please, guys, check out my friends' channels. Check out their social media as well. They do great work. And, again, they cover a lot wider range of topics than I do because I don't even touch the NBA. And they cover sports and other things like boxing, even, as Calvin said. So, definitely, these guys are catch them now because before they get too big, they might be too big to get to. So, get them now while their stock is still low and they're still growing. And before they become big time, this is the time to jump on. So, you can say, I knew the when this was happening. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who, there's a lot of interaction today. For everybody who was in the chats, especially on the super chats, thank you for your support. For everybody who called in on the phone lines, thanks for being on there as well. Everybody who was in the Discord, I know I tried to get somebody on there, but it didn't seem to work. But I know some of you guys are on the Discord just kind of hanging out and watching, and I appreciate that. But everybody just watching on YouTube, you guys are the reason why we do these videos, is because without an audience, this wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. So I do appreciate it. As Calvin said, hitting that 40,000 mark last week was huge, and it's fantastic. It's because of you guys, and we're all just trying to hit our next goals, and we need your support for that. So please give us some support. Keep watching. Hit those like buttons and comment and subscribe. We all do truly appreciate it. So that's it. We'll talk again at the same time next week. Hopefully we'll have the full panel back to talk about the preview about the Arizona Cardinals game down in Arizona, and talk about what's going to take to get that win. But in the time being, for now, for Seahawks fans, we get to kick back, relax, watch all the other games, watch all the teams beat up on each other, and hope the NFC West goes down in flames over the weekend so that we can have an even bigger lead in the NFC West. But it's a great time to be a Seahawks fan. So I can't be happier and smile enough about it. This is a great time. 5-0 with a chance to just keep pushing that amazing record season. And who knows? Maybe some of you guys saying 16-0, maybe you're not so crazy after all. This is a special year, man. You never know. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. My special guest, Steezy A. Smith, DJ Squabo. I'm NorbCam. Thanks for watching, and go Hawks, baby.